Good morning. It's time to wake up, y'all. You're listening to the Armchair Quarterback Show. We're here weekdays on CBS Radio, YouTube Live, 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 Central, 5 Pacific. The Armchair Quarterback Show, your first choice for Southern sports talk. Good morning, Mr. Justin Waller.
Good morning. I don't know much, but I know one thing. Sorry, Jacksonville. There's only one Duval, and he's returned to play left field for the Atlanta Braves. Welcome home, Adam.
Hi, I'm Mac McGinn. I don't know much, but I know one thing. It's pretty cool to wake up in the morning and see United States baseball on playing Japan, although I'm getting a flashback to having to watch the KBO when we were all shut down last year. You're listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks.
Shall I let the machine get it?
Are you alone in the house? We're gonna play a little game. It's called Guess Who Just Called the Police?
Finally, get out! I can't, Billy. You cut me too deep. I think I'm dying here, man. Hello?
Oh, Stu. What's your motive? Billy's got one. The police are on their way. What are you gonna tell them?
Peer pressure. I'm far too sensitive.
Armchair.
Community Access Channel.
He's the armchair quarterback. He's full of beer and he's full of snacks. The all-American man. With a cool in his head. Yeah, the armchair.
Hey, howdy, hi. Top of the morning to you. Welcome to the Armchair Quarterback Radio Show. Mac McGee and Justin Waller. Justin, how the hell are you this morning, my friend?
I couldn't be better. School started back today, so woohoo!
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. August 2nd?
Hey,
God.
I'm for year round after the past 18 months. I mean,
I'll get you to learn on. Is it normally this early, or has this been?
we have a unique situation in the county that I'm in that we will take a week off the week before.
In the streets?
No, we take the week off for
Send the kids back.
They take off for the National Walking Horse Celebration every year. So that week before Labor Day week, and our schools are always out. So they start a week early because they get a week vacation going into Labor Day for whatever reason.
You know, it's so funny because my wife was talking about this last night, that I guess the kids in Southern Florida, where her brother has 2 kids about your kids' age, they might be a tad older, but not by much, right? And they go to school, start school next week, because she was bringing up the fact that I guess this past weekend here in Jacksonville, or maybe it's throughout the state of Florida, I'm not sure, was the, no tax weekend that they do here in Florida every year for the week leading into going back to school. And I was like, already? She said they go back to school next week. And I was like, damn. And it has thrown me off. And I know that it's gradually happened, but when I was a kid in Florida, I don't know what it was like in Tennessee, but when I was a kid in Florida, we began school. It was so dumb, but we began school about 2 or 3 days before Labor Day weekend. Then you get the Labor Day weekend, and then we would come back. But then we went to school into early June. Now it seems like they begin sometime in early August and get out in early May. Is that what goes on?
It is. They get they get the last couple week and a half of May, and then they get all of June and July off in our county. So.
Okay. And see, I noticed when I went to Tennessee, but I don't really remember when we started because alcohol and no, because I was only there for 2 years. But I don't remember when we started, but I did remember being shocked how early we left in May. And I guess Florida's finally caught up to that. I think one of the reasons why Florida never did it in the past for years, and I was probably just at the tail end of it, they just hadn't adjusted. My mom was a school teacher for years down here, and she said the reason why that they waited till September most years to come back was because it wasn't until like the late 60s, early 70s that air conditions got implemented into every school. And can you imagine sitting and trying to teach a kid and trying to get them to concentrate in August in Florida with like a little bitty fan blowing on you? This is the Pythagorean theorem. You're going to learn it now. And the kids over there. And, back then you couldn't have a backpack with a little, little pacifier sucking out of your mouth. Gotta stay hydrated. Stay hydrated. But anyways, we'll move on from that. The trading deadline, you mentioned it in the open. I like what the Braves did, considering we gave up very little. And here's the one thing that I saw Braves fans flip out about was giving up Bryce Wilson to Pittsburgh. But when you realize that you're going to have Rich Rodriguez for till the end of the 2024 season, dude, I'm all game. Give me a reliever of control. And it sucks. Bryce Wilson has some potential, but what the hell, man? It's either that or put Bryce Wilson in the bullpen. What say you?
I mean, I thought we got a coach when I heard Rich Rod was coming, but yeah, I like the closer. I mean, listen, Bryce was a prospect with value that exceeded his expectations last year, and you sold high. I actually like it. If I'm going to have one I'm upset about, it was giving up Jackson to enter division to the Marlins, but to get Adam Duvall, I understand that probably had to take place, but I hope that doesn't bite us in the rear for years to come.
Alan Jackson didn't bother me. He's an older prospect. I think he's around 25. He's a catcher. We've got. We're
good with catchers.
Yeah, we won't even count Darnode, who's a free agent at the end of this year. I don't know if they'll bring him back or not. That's not important. We have Contreras. We have Langoliers. I mean, we don't need catchers, so I'm fine with that. Other other things. Obviously, the big news that broke was Scherzer to the Dodgers, Trey Turner to the Dodgers. All of a sudden, Friday afternoon, Corey Seager got healthy. He said, wait a minute, Trey Turner's coming to the Dodgers, shortstop? Dude, I can play tonight. Let's go. Dude, you've been down for 10 weeks. Let's go. He started suiting up. He played all weekend. All of a sudden, he was healthy.
Competition breeds competition is all I can say.
When you're like, where's this guy going to fit? I think they'll put Turner in the outfield is what they're because now what an athletic.
He's a super utility. I mean, the Nationals didn't use him that way, but we've seen him deployed in the first couple of seasons of his career that he can play anywhere.
Right. And you could also play him in the old school. You just call it rover is what they call it now because we don't have a shift band yet. And so you could have him play second base ish. And there's no longer any true second base because of all the shifts. So you can use him as the quote unquote rover. Right. So I don't think that's going to be, you're concerned if you have like AJ Pollock on your fantasy team, you're like, carry the one. Wait a minute, where the hell is this guy going to play? That's the kind of stuff you worry about. You don't worry about if you're Trey Turner or Corey Seager. The Mets shocked me, knowing that they are not going to have DeGrom for the foreseeable future, and they did nothing. Trevor Williams, I'm sorry, is the equivalent of nothing. Trevor Williams is an okay pitcher, but that doesn't even begin to help your void at starting pitching. So as you can imagine, Steve Cohen, the owner of the Mets, he caught crap all weekend long. I mean, so then he gets snarky, and when they had the come from behind win on Saturday night, he said, not too bad or not too shabby for a bunch of overachievers, that kind of stuff. One thing I'll say to you, Cohen, I know you're new to the whole ownership thing. Dude, don't get in Twitter wars, man, with these idiot fans. I mean, dude, you're not going to win. Don't respond to them.
Yeah, from Mark Cuban. They gotta
you have thousands and thousands, probably millions by now, following you. Put your thing out there, but don't respond to any of their snide comments on a Friday. Come back on a Saturday with something quippy. Just put out there what you want to put out there, but you don't have to respond to them because they're not important. Anyways, anything else jump out at you? I thought the Giants getting Chris Bryant was a very big get.
I like that. No, the Dodgers still in Scherzer and keeping him from the Padres and the Giants was that was the blockbuster trade right there.
What about Rizzo going to the Yankees and already making an impact?
And what about Schwarber going to the Red Sox? I want to see a little bit of that Red Sox Yankees beef carry over, little cub on cub crime.
Yeah, I can't wait for that this morning. We've got the catbird seat at the top of the 10 o'clock Eastern hour, and I can't wait to dive into that. But what I've seen for Rizzo is already he's at a bomb. He's already like the rally guy. The guy's got a championship pedigree, and I think he might be the biggest key piece that gets added this trade season, and that's even including Scherzer. So I think something's missing with the Dodgers. I don't know what it is. I don't know if they just don't have that competitive fire. that they did last year, or it's just, bad luck's going to run into you. But if they don't win the division, Justin, you're talking about a 1-game play-in against most likely the Padres. And I think that's the main reason why the Scherzer trade was made. You're going to have Scherzer versus most likely Yu Darvish in that showdown. That's what that was built for, because San Francisco, as we speak, they're still 3 games in front. The Brewers are cruising 7 games in front of the Reds. The Mets 3.5 and 4 in front of the Braves and Phillies. And then the Astros are starting to make a little headway. The White Sox are running away with their division. And the Tampa Bay Rays sweep the Red Sox. What about that? Oh, I had fun with Teamus over the weekend shooting him texts.
Let's talk about them Atlanta Braves before we run out of time. 3.5 games back to the stretch they just went to. And I know they split 500, but I take that all day long. And I think after the additions,
it's going to get
I'm ready for this second half, baby.
It's going to get ugly for the Mets. I'm telling you right now. When you look at real quick, and then we'll jump into the football that that we have planned. But I can sit here talk baseball with you till the cows come home. So the Mets are at the Marlins, so that that doesn't scare you. But they always play difficult. The Marlins play well at home. They're at the Marlins, then they're at the Phillies for 3. They're home against Washington, who sold off a lot of their pieces, but it's a rivalry. Then they got the Dodgers. They're at the 49ers. They might as well be at the 49ers. They're at the Giants. They're at the Dodgers. They're home against the Giants. And I thought they had the Padres in there, but I guess that's Atlanta. That's later on. And then they come home for Washington, et cetera, et cetera. I won't get into the whole thing. And plus, by the way, you know something else the Mets have to get around in the month of September? They're playing the Yankees, the Cardinals, who made moves, Philly, and they still got to go to Boston, and they got to go to Milwaukee. They've got a rough stretch, and Atlanta has got a more favorable stretch. I will never say in Major League Baseball that you got gimmies, right? Because that's just stupid. You're asking for yourself to go on a 10-game losing streak when you say, "Oh, this is a gimme." So I don't want to go all David Ross and the Cubs about it here, but what we have in front of us, this is a homestand with Washington and Cincinnati. Very winnable games. I would be disappointed if we don't win 6 of 4. Sorry, 4 of 6. That'd be
I like your math. I mean, I'm down for 6 of 4.
That's right, baby. We went 6 and -2 this week. Awesome. Let's go. Then they go on a road trip, but it's Washington, Miami, and Baltimore. That's manageable. They got the Yankees, and then they go on there. So when they get to August 27th, that's the litmus test, because that's when they go on their own difficult run out west a little bit. The Braves need to have made up 2 or 3 games. And I'll say this now, and I'll say it then. If the Braves can be within 1 or 2 games, so we're not really 4 back. In my mind, we're about 2 or 3 back. If they can be in 1 of 2 games by the final weekend, they host the New York Mets. And it's a 3-game series. They host the Phillies that week. It can be done. Now, they're going on a long road trip in between that, so it is what it is. But I think the Braves have made good moves. They didn't mortgage the future. I'm sorry, but what I've seen of Bryce Wilson, tell me if I'm wrong of what you've seen, he's a number 4 starter at best. Maybe number 3 in some years, but his career, I think he's a number 4 starter.
Yeah, I mean, he might be a number 1 in Pittsburgh, but yeah, he's a number 4 here with us. There was too much value in him and upside from his postseason last year, and he had enough success this season. It wasn't outstanding, but there was enough to get great value. And I think you finally pulled the trigger and made a prospect trade. I'll call it what it is.
Yeah.
We've been on Anthopoulos for not ever trading a prospect and keeping the cupboard and wanting to hold on to him. But hey, he unloaded 2 of them. He got rid of Wilson. He got rid of Jackson. Whether you agree with it or not, those were glorified prospects, hadn't panned out. He found value and got a return for those guys. And we've been asking that for a year.
Were Wilson and Jackson going to be key parts in a World Series championship team?
No, they weren't. They were in the conversation, but we've seen that that's just not
They were
panning
bench
out.
guys. They were guys
Yes.
you'd pull up in June because someone got banged up. They were okay. Maybe you can turn Bryce Wilson into an outstanding reliever, which I think you could have. But that's it. But look, that time is essentially passed because they've wasted this entire time making him a starter. So getting Rich Rod, and injuries happen, whatever. But Rich Rod is a really good reliever, really good. I'm not gonna say great, but he's a really good reliever, and he's got upside. And we've got him for the next 3 years after this, and that is key because 2022 to 2024 is where I'm marking it. Justin, is our best chance to win a World Series. Somewhere in that mix, you're going to have luck come on your side. You're going to have to hit some free agents, but you're going to have to get hot in a trade. But somewhere between that 3-year span of 2022 and 2024, the Braves are going to be assuming they re-sign Freddie, which I think they will. The Braves are going to be in the Ronald Acuna Jr. will be in his prime. Albies will be in his prime. Riley, who's starting to rake, will be in his prime. All these kids are going to be, I expect those kids to at least be wearing National League Championship Series champion t-shirts heading to the World Series. I expect at least that over the next 3 years, barring something catastrophic. But I'm with it, man. I'm with it. Michael says, oh, never mind. He's going back and forth with Brian. I saw something about Orlando. I thought Orlando was on fire or something. Let's go ahead and get into the South Carolina Gamecocks for 2021. All right, let's rock and roll the Gamecocks 2021 Beamer Ball. We get to say Beamer Ball again. What's your first thoughts on the South Carolina Gamecocks going into 2021?
Beamer Ball's back. You ready to talk baseball?
I'll tell you what, there's some excitement.
I'm excited about Beamer Ball. I don't think he was the splashy hire that everybody wanted. I think when Muschamp got fired after the disappointing 19 and the dismal 2020 season, I don't think that it was the big splashy hire, but hey man, Beamer's paid his dues. He coached at South Carolina. He went off to Tech. I mean, he's paid his due in his career, and I'm excited to see that torch passed. And let's see what kind of opportunity he can build out there.
Look, this is a guy that's coming from Oklahoma, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you got to figure it's going to be a wide open offense. But let's not forget the guy was at South Carolina for 3 years.
Yes.
Now, the article I read spun it as, and those 3 years led to the recruitment of the next 3 years, which was the best in South Carolina football, but he wasn't there for any of those. I'd say, okay, whatever, I'll bite. But he was at Georgia. He was at, Oklahoma. He cut his teeth in Rocky Top, 2001 to 2003. That's legendary coaching right there, baby. Georgia Tech in 2000, which actually Georgia Tech was pretty good back then.
I mean, if Heupel wouldn't have been available, he would have been our hire. That's all I got to say.
Right. Yeah. I tell you what, I think he's going to do something. I know one thing, there is an absolute energy that is around the program now that wasn't there when Muschamp came to South Carolina. I think most South Carolina fans, if I'm reading the room right, they were like, okay, we'll have a good defense. All right, we'll get to see them explode and melt down, maybe have a stroke on the sidelines. But you knew when Muschamp came to South Carolina, 6-6, 7-5, maybe 8-4 was your ceiling. Beamer, there's a little more optimism, I think, and he says it's his dream job. So I think that's pretty big. When a coach says, whether he believes it or not, when he says it's his dream job.
Oh, yes. I can't hear that. When Derek Dooley told me that, Butch Jones told me that, maybe he's telling the truth. I mean, this was Jeremy Pruitt's dream job too.
I know Lane Kiffin never said that. He left for his dream job.
But then a different one came up. He had multiple dreams.
Yeah, exactly. he left for his dream job, and that didn't work out so well. But I think there's at least some excitement, and if he can show that this offense can get up and go like Oklahoma can, they don't have the talent Oklahoma does, but if they can get up and go and lean on Kevin Harris in his 1,000-yard rushing game year last year, which by the way they've only had 6 in school history. That kind of shocked me. They've got 4 offensive linemen coming back. Their tight ends coming back. Considering this guy's a tight end coach, I expect a lot out of Muse. I think the biggest question is going to be, first of all, obviously, who's going to be their quarterback? And then they don't really have any receivers of note that are coming back, so they're going to have to pave their own way. How do you see this?
Yeah, it's going to be difficult. With Shi Smith going to the Carolina Panthers, you got to wonder who's going to step up and be that big outside target. And is it Cody? Is it one of the other guys at quarterback that steps up and prevails as a starting QB this offseason? We really don't know that yet, and I'm sure that there will be games where, Beamer's not going to tell us that or hint to it before the season opens. It's going to be one of them you'll find out when the roster takes the field. But I think it's there. I just think it's going to have to be, I think South Carolina fans are realistic. We're not talking about Tennessee's fan base here. I think they'll be patient with him. I think he'll have the opportunity to put his places in and build his system, and excited to see what he can grow the program.
That's one of my bucket list things that I would love to see before it's all said and done, is the caboose where they party out of the old train caboose there at South Carolina. I'd love to be there during Clemson weekend, but I would just love to go to a South Carolina game down the road somewhere, maybe when we're old and all that stuff, and we're, wander around out there with the beer in our hand and don't have to worry about work the next day or whatever. But I would love to go to a South Carolina game someday, especially to see what it's, because whenever you see it, it's rocking.
It is. I hate that song though. But aside from that, I love the
I don't
experience.
even know if I know what song that they sing.
The Mortal Kombat song when they kick off. I don't know the name of it.
Oh, okay.
You hear it up before every kickoff, every time they score. It's just their theme song. I don't know the proper name for it. It just
Rocky
annoys
Top.
Me. Oh, South Carolina. It's the bird version.
Fair enough. All right, so let's get into the meat and potatoes of this. Where do you see them this year? How does South Carolina finish? They get, by the way, real quick, they start off Eastern Illinois on Saturday, September 4th. It's essentially a cupcake at East Carolina. I don't think you can sleep on that. Then they're at Georgia, home against Kentucky. They get an out-of-conference game against Troy, and then they go to Knoxville. They're at home against Vanderbilt, at A&M, at home against Florida, at Missouri, and then finish it off with Auburn and Clemson. Oy vey. They won 2 games last year. I'm going to put the over-under for you at 4.5. Did they reach the over?
Over.
Really? Okay.
I feel good about 5. I think they get the Eastern Illinois, the Carolina. You've got a split between Kentucky and Tennessee and win Troy. So there's 4 right there. The question is, can they beat a Vanderbilt, Missouri, and get that 5th win? I think they can. They've got a split between Vanderbilt, Missouri, Kentucky, and Tennessee. They need to win 2 of them 4 games, and I think they get to 5 because I think they can handle Eastern.
I think they beat Vanderbilt. I think they lose to Tennessee.
I hope you're right, but then they've got to beat Kentucky or Missouri to get there, or you've got to have a stunner. And I'm not opposed to a stunner, but
so we have them at 2-1 going at hosting Kentucky, and then outside of that 3-1 probably because although man Troy's got a good football program, so I haven't done a deep dive on Troy, but I would never sleep on them. But I definitely think East Carolina, Illinois, Vanderbilt are wins. And then I'm with you. Like, you've got to get 2 more wins out of Kentucky, Troy, which both those are at home. At Tennessee, I don't think they're going to win at Tennessee. And I don't think they'll win at Missouri from what we've done so far and whatever.
Okay, that solves it. Florida at home. That's the 5th one.
There you go. All right. So they're going to beat Florida. They're going to beat Clemson. Everyone will be happy. They'll beat Jimbo Fisher's ass in College Station.
They do that. Beamer won't be at South Carolina next year. This will be a one and done, baby.
Either that or he gets locked up. I mean, they put him like a 20-year deal, and I'm talking about this guy's making like freaking Fernando Tatis kind of money. Okay. We're at the end of it. What is your walk-off for the day, sir?
Gentlemen, I'm going to throw out a little challenge to all my fellow armchair quarterbacks. Big boy here has officially kept the fluctuation under 300. I haven't done a weigh-in for a while, so I just want to throw that challenge out to you boys. And come on now, keep going.
I'm at 26 pounds. My goal is to be at 40 by the time I see you in about a month. So I've got 14 that I'm trying to shed in the next month. So
I think I'm about the same since we first started. I've lost 55 total, but I had already taken 20 or 25 off when we started.
Where were you at originally? Like when
I'd gotten up to 350, and that was my breaking point in life, where I almost passed out holding my breath, putting my shoes on, said, okay, boys, it's got to stop. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Laugh it up. All you fat people out there know. Excuse me?
How tall are you?
Not enough. 6 foot.
Yeah.
I need to be about 8'4" at my weight.
I'm right there with you. But that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping for another 14 is what I'm hoping for. Because the reason why I want a 5-pound cushion, because I'm going on vacay. So
I want to fight at light heavyweight. So I'm trying to get down, 205. That's pipe dream. But
my goal by next year, well, you know what? We'll pick this up tomorrow. How about that?
See you. Have a great day, gentlemen.
All right, brother. We're going to be back in a flash on the Armchair Quarterbacks when we come back. Fantasy mock draft. And we're also going to talk some DFS and our quarterback rankings. Fantasy football, baby. It's here. It's August, baby. Let's go. God dog it. Let's go.
I'm bad at sex. There's a lot of thrashing and thumping, but nothing really gets done. I'm like a broken dishwasher.
The Armchair Quarterbacks radio show. We're talking baseball. That's the Armchair Quarterbacks talking baseball. Fantasy sports is back, and it's time to jump into DraftKings. Go to DraftKings today at DraftKings.com. Golf, NASCAR, soccer, you name it. And, of course, Major League Baseball, basketball, hockey, and football. Go to DraftKings.com. Listen to the Armchair Quarterbacks for DFS advice all year round.
Amazon Prime members now get free grocery delivery with a minimum order. You'll get your groceries with 2-hour delivery. So in that time, you can finally figure out where the biblioteca is, learn how to play the acoustic guitar, and I guess get a puka shell necklace. Do a makeup tutorial, but realize halfway contouring is hard, and you're beautiful just as you are. Whatever it is you're doing with your time, your shopper will be carefully picking out your favorite organic meats, produce, dairy, and snacks while providing contactless delivery to your door. Free 2-hour grocery delivery.
CBS Sports Radio, your home for all things sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, coast to coast. Great sports talk expected here. CBS Sports Radio.
Hey, Jacksonville, winter, the perfect time to start planning for your healthy, pest-free spring lawn with True Green, America's #1 lawn care company. True Green's science-based approach and local expertise will help give your lawn the year-round care it needs to be thick and weed-free. Go to truegreen.com/radio to save 50% on your first service. Just call 866-946-5956 or go to truegreen.com/radio today and get a lawn to be proud of.
YALL looks, throws for the end zone for Natil. He's got it! Touchdown, Florida. 17-16 with 36 seconds left. Going for the 2. Here is Bell at the line. Bell rolling. Bell's got the time. He's under pressure. He's two. 18-17. Oh my! And that's it. Florida has won 18-17. One of the greatest comebacks I've ever seen.
We live in a world now that welcomes and nurtures the screwball in all of us.
Hey, it's a new decade, people. Time to get a little nutty. Treat yourself to Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey, a smooth flavor that combines two of America's favorites, peanut butter and American whiskey. So no more social awkwardness. Time to embrace who you truly are. Get out there and make friends. And be sure it starts with Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. It's available nearly everywhere. Learn more at screwballwhiskey.com. Infinity Spirits. Please enjoy responsibly.
How the hell can you wear a Bears jersey at a Packer game?
Okay, maybe he doesn't understand why it's wrong. Let me tell you in a way how you can understand. The Packers are like Jedi, and you're wearing a Go Darth Vader jersey.
Oh, that's ridiculous. The Jedi don't play football. They play Manuku.
Foreman, this is worse than when you wore the Air Supply t-shirt to the Aerosmith concert.
Good morning. Oh, he's checked out in Reds after he kicked the Mets ass this weekend. How are you, Doug? Looking good.
Good. How you doing?
Looking good. You should still be facing towards the natural light. I can see it in the reflection over behind you. But anyways, a much better backdrop than normal. Looking good, sir. We're gonna run out of time if we don't get rolling. So
all right,
I don't have time to ask you. You know how all your hot dates went over the weekend. Where are you going in DFS today? And I'm gonna get us set up with the mock draft as you tell us what's going on.
DFS, just quick stacks. Take the quick stacks. Take Philly over Washington, or Milwaukee Pittsburgh. Those are my two stacks for the day. Also, the players to pick. I've got let me see, Tyler McGill pitching for the Mets today. I think that's your top pitcher pick. And if you don't like him, take Dave Sclavini, our favorite pitcher from San Francisco.
How about those Mets yesterday, by the way?
That hurt. That hurt.
That hurt. You won.
What I'm talking about is Mr. Voto with his streak.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, you took 2 out of 3 from the Mets. You got to be feeling good.
Oh, I feel good about the wins. I just hate it for Mr. Voto. That's some of the best hitting I've seen from him in a long time. And
yeah, I finally picked him up in, I think it's in the Roto League. But it was basically because I'm wanting to, man, I got to do something about my batting, dude. It just stays put, and it's terrible. I got to do something about my batting. This offseason, I'm going to be willing to trade some of my bigger, what the hell's going on here? All right, here we go. All right, sorry about that. We're getting ready for our draft, so we can sit up here. We are hitting 6th. So we're going to kind of walk through this, Doug, as the draft starts in a minute and a half. So we will have to keep an eye on the clock because I can't put the sound on it because it deafened everybody over the weekend when we did this. So anyways, this is what's going on with someone just DM me. Oh, the picture I have in the background, it's Vin Scully. It's a picture of Vin Scully overseeing the field before a ball game. One of my favorite broadcasters of all time, and always thought it was a really neat pick. So that's my backdrop. It's been the backdrop on my computer for quite a while. I don't remember when I did that. Probably right around the time they hired Willie Taggart, I quit putting Florida State in the background. Okay, we got the number 6 pick. It's about to begin. You know the usual suspects are going to be gone. Who are you hoping falls to us at number 6?
Wow. I hate the number 6 pick.
I did do a shorter 8-man draft just because we have such a small segment here.
Gotcha.
I want to get as many picks in as possible. And it looks like we're drafting against some actual humans. So that's nice. They're not all team 1 and team 2. we do have Team 7, but other than that, we actually have some newbies. Anyways, number 6. Who are you hoping falls to us?
I want somebody to be stupid and pick up a wide receiver first, and at least one of these top 5 running backs falls down to us.
If it doesn't, do you take the best running back available, or do you go best receiver?
Well, in that case, oh man, I mean,
We'll just assume that it's a half-point PPR. Okay.
Then I would probably go ahead and snag Tyreek Hill then.
Okay, so we'll see. Right now, it's gone McCaffrey, Cook, Henry, Kamara, and Elliott. So, do you want to go Tyreek Hill, or do you see a running back that you prefer? Remember, we only have 30 seconds to do this, so we can't talk forever.
I know. No. I'm just
be ready.
Then perhaps I would take Nick Chubb.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna go Nick Chubb, and then we'll pick in a few, and we'll see what's sitting there. Whether it's a running back, whether it possibly tight end, receiver. So right now we're starting with Nick Chubb. He just signed a 3-year extension with the team, so he's got to be happy about that. And I think the Browns are going to be pretty darn good. You do worry about Kareem Hunt getting some of his touches, but it doesn't seem like it's affected that much. Seems like it's more to keep him fresh, and Kareem Hunt comes in on passing downs. So it hasn't been the worst thing in the world for him.
No, it hasn't.
All right, where are we looking at now? We got Chubb. Saquon and Tyreek are sitting there.
Oh, then I got to take Tyreek then.
Okay, so if he falls, if he goes, okay, he's there. So we'll go Tyreek Hill, arguably the best. Yeah, it's between him and Devontae Adams now that Aaron Rodgers is back. I think those are definitely the 1 and 1A. It's really just your preference. If you want a guy who has the ability to just break out and have a big time game, it's Tyreek Hill. If you're looking for more consistency, it's probably Adams. But it's how you build your team. But if you got a guy, Tyreek Hill can single-handedly win you a game every week. Not that Adams can't. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into our wide receiver top 10. As we have a few picks, I'll keep an eye on it as I think I said wide receiver. I meant quarterback top 10. You got anything other than Patrick Mahomes at number 1?
No. I would qualify and say that Josh Allen is 1A. I just think he's just going to be lights out this season. So, but no, Mahomes is still number 1.
All right. Who is your number 2?
Josh Allen.
And that's without a doubt, like you wouldn't even be considering anyone else, correct?
No, I wouldn't.
Okay. What about your number 3 and 4?
3 and 4 is Lamar Jackson, and believe it or not, Dak Prescott. A lot of people, I know he's had the injury, but I think Dak Prescott will be a top 5.
All right, and now why do you have him over like a Kyler Murray?
Just if Prescott does anything, and especially from a fantasy point of view that he was doing up until the time he got his injury, I just think his fantasy numbers will be superior to Kyler Murray.
All right, we got a pick coming up here, and so we've got a receiver, we got a running back. It's going to be our pick here in a second. All right, here we go. Who do you like? What do you want?
I want a running back again. I want to see what's left in the running back.
All right, let me do that really, really quick. CEH, Montgomery, Dobbins, Sanders, Carson. Hurry.
I'm reading there. Is Hilaire available there?
Yes, CEH.
I would go ahead and take him. That would be my impulse.
Okay. So then we'll get another pick in about 4 picks. So when we come back off of that, we will have you're probably thinking receiver, but I'm going to put all players in case someone jumps out at us. Right now we have Chubb and Hilaire and Tyreek Hill, and we're looking to see what falls to us at the number 27 slot overall. 24 is picking right now. So continue with your top 10 of quarterbacks.
Oh, well, then Kyler Murray next after Prescott. I mean, he'll have a solid fantasy season, and I think he's just right in the middle of he's right in the middle there. So I don't think I don't have any conflict with that. Going on from that, number 6, I got Herbert from San Diego. I think he's going to have a pretty solid season this year. He might have a better season than that, but for now, I've got him right there at the number 6 spot.
All right. By the way, we will be doing this quite a bit over the next few weeks. Typically in the second half of the show, but we're going to be doing a lot of these mock drafts. They've been pretty popular. People have asked about them, and we're going to try to mix them up as much as possible. We just don't have a really long show, so we can't do really deep drafts, but you'll get those on Saturdays during the handicapper show. Okay, here we go again. We've got wide receiver, 2 running backs. What do you like?
You know what? The way I drafted value. And I think if I'm reading it right, I'm going to take Waller. Okay.
I figured that. I was about to just go ahead and put him in the queue just in case you rattled on too long. I would have been intrigued to take Montgomery, but I get what you're saying as far as if you have Waller, you have an elite tight end. There's only about 4 or 5 of them at the most this year, and I'm counting the rookie Kyle Pitts. And we don't even know what the hell he's going to do, but we think he's going to be really good. Luckily, this draft is moving pretty fast, which is fine. We're getting some auto drafters or whatever because it's moving it along. I don't know why in the world Yahoo on an auto draft, dude, why has it got to go 10 seconds? Get them out in 5, get them out in 3, right? Give them an honest chance to log back in, but just get them out, Once you've gone into auto draft, it means that you're not paying attention. So right now you got the tight end, you got 2 running backs, you only have 1 receiver. It's going to come back around. Are you targeting a receiver? Let's see what quarterbacks are left. Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson and Kyle. Only 1 quarterback's been taken so far. But as far as receivers, you've got Evans, Cooper. Evans is gone now. Woods, Julio Jones, Cooper Kupp, DJ Moore. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking wide receiver now. So I'm thinking probably I would go ahead and take Cooper.
All right, we'll go ahead and do with Cooper. There's an update on him to make sure it's said Cooper looks great after undergoing ankle surgery, and they're expecting him to be ready to go by the season. So we'll go ahead and take him. You always want to read those things and make sure it's Amari Cooper has retired. Oh man, what did I do? What the hell? I better trade him quick. I better get a gentleman's handshake over here somewhere. All right. So going back into your top 10 list of quarterbacks, finish it out for us real quick.
Aaron Rodgers, he's just down here because who knows what he's going to do, but he's still worthy of a top 10 pick. After that, Russell Wilson is further down because I don't know what the situation.
What number is he on your list?
Oh, he's number 7 on mine.
Okay.
Then Russell Wilson at number 8. With everything going on in Seattle, I don't know if his numbers are going to be.
Our turn to draft. Hold on 1 second. Hold on to that thought. You go quarterback, or do you use flex? And we got to make it quick.
Do a flex.
Okay, flex. We got 10 seconds. Cooper Kupp, Henderson. You want your boy Jacobs?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to do that. All right, now we got more time to actually get ready for the next one. If there's quarterbacks available, which I don't know if there will be, but Kyler, Dak are both there. So I'm going to put them in our queue just in case, but they might go on a run here. All right. And finish up your top 10 real quick because I got to get into mine.
Like I said, Russell Wilson, number 8. And then Tom Brady, it's number 9. And then Ryan Tannehill at number 10.
Okay. Mine differs quite a bit, but that's what I love about fantasy football. Everyone's got their opinions, right? By the way, I do want to mention something. I ordered it. It's going to be here in the near future. Don't know when. I have a trophy that's going to sit over my shoulder, and we're going to add the champion every year. And this goes into one of our leagues. I'll explain it down the road. But the champion will be put on the plate almost like a Stanley Cup.
Mm-hmm.
And then the winner of the league will get its own smaller trophy sent to them each year. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So, and this dates back quite a few years. I'll explain on how I got to this and whatnot, but it goes all the way back to the 2014 football, fantasy football season, since we've been doing leagues with the armchair quarterbacks. So most people who are in it, or they're either in our league, I mean, on our show, or they're longtime viewers that we've gotten to know. All right. We got a couple picks. So I'm obviously going Mahomes and Allen 1 and 2 in my quarterback rankings. I don't think there's any big shock there. I like Dak Prescott and Kyler Murray over Lamar Jackson. Now I've got Murray ranked above Prescott just because he's coming off injury, so I'm a little concerned. But damn, Dak Prescott can gun it. Lamar Jackson's my number 5 because anytime a guy has the ball in his hand that much, you got to like your chances. So that's my number 5, and I'll do 6 through 10 after we do our draft round here, because we got guys coming up. Both those quarterbacks are gone, by the way, so we can either go flex, or the best quarterback available is Jalen Hurts and Justin Herbert, so I think we can wait. So flex, what are you seeing there that you like? You got more Lockett, Thielen, Ayuk. We're running out of time. Kareem Hunt, Galladay.
I'll go ahead and I think we got trouble. I'll go ahead and quarterback Kareem Hunt. Or
crap, dude.
What am I saying?
I can't find him. You took way too long, dude.
It's okay.
Stutter that out of your mouth. So we ended up with DJ Moore. You got to realize I got to be able to find it and click it.
I know.
So Hunt is there if it comes back. So I'm gonna go ahead and star his ass so we don't get jacked. Anyone else that you see on the list right there that you like? Because essentially it's a backup time, and I think we can wait a couple rounds on quarterback. It's an 8-man league. I'd say the top 7 quarterbacks have been drafted. Who else do you like here?
Looking from what I can tell here, like Tyler Lockett is a good pick. It's hard to say. It's so small.
Would you rather have Lockett or Hunt?
You know what? I'd rather have Lockett. I'd rather have Lockett.
All right, so we'll do that, and to worry about running back depth here in a minute. Okay, how about that? All right, finishing off my top 10, it's Aaron Rodgers. I've got him up higher because I think he's got something to prove, and he had an MVP season last year. And to me, it would be disingenuous, but I am concerned of all the nonsense that went on during the offseason. But I still have to put him above Justin Herbert, who I have at number 7. Russell Wilson is at 8, just because, once again, he's got the ball in his hand a lot. And then I finish out with Tannehill 9. And I don't know. I wish I would have been jotting it down when you were talking, but I did not, because I was paying attention to the draft as well. I've got Matt Stafford as number 10. I know you didn't have Stafford in there. So who did I not have on my list that you had on your list? All right, we're back. It looks like I apologize to everyone there. Comcast crapped the bed again. Not a whole hell of a lot I can do about it. All right, I'm going to take over this thing here. Put Doug back in. I'm going to take this over real quick because he's going to be caught flat-footed. So let me get caught up to speed where we're at. We've got Javonte Williams. I'm going to take a chance on him out in Denver to add some depth. And Doug, are you there?
Yes, I am here now.
All right, Comcast crapped the bed, and there's nothing I could do. Sometimes it'll keep you on. So if that happens, just stay on, and it'll reconnect once I get reconnection. Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, it kicked me out, it kicked me back, and then I didn't know what to do.
No, man, I get it. It's Comcast is just terrible. I mean, this has been happening a lot recently. It's really starting to piss me off. I'm seriously thinking about going to something else. Problem is, I've had issues with other companies, but this is happening pretty regularly in the middle of our shows. It's been happening pretty regularly the same time every day where the service is down. All right, screw this. Who cares? Let's get back into the flex. Do you see anyone there that you can, I'm going to try to, crap. I guess I'm going to have to go ahead and make a pick for us because you probably can't see that very well.
No.
DJ Chark or Brandon Cooks?
I'll take DJ Chark.
I'm glad you said that because we're running out of time. Okay. I'm going to see if I can do this again and put the portion screen share. There we go. I'm sure you can see that much better, right?
Yeah, it's better.
All right. So I'm going to edit this at the end because I do know we're not going live on any other platform today. They're grabbing us in 2 markets later on. So I'm going to edit this. So we'll go ahead and finish up here. Pretty much we'll get to the end of this draft and then we'll do our walk-offs and everything. All right. So I don't remember where the hell we were, but I think I was asking you who you had on your quarterback on going into who was on your list that wasn't on my list is what I was asking. So did you have Jalen Hurts on your list? Because
no.
I couldn't write him down while you were talking because I was looking at the draft board.
Gotcha.
But did you know, because my last 10, I don't know if you heard the final 6 was Rodgers, Herbert, Wilson, Tannehill, and Stafford. And I know you didn't have Stafford, so who did you have on your list?
Oh,
didn't have?
I had Brady, and I think that
Brady.
The only difference
Okay,
Brady instead of Stafford.
Okay, that's what it's. So, yeah, I'm optimistic about Stafford. I will say this: the injury to Akers makes me a little more weary because defenses can now focus more on stopping the pass as opposed to stopping the run, which they would have. All right, it's our turn again. So this is what we have real quick. God, why in the world would it automatically go to another team? All right, so this is what we have. We have Herbert, Hill, all that on the bench. You've got that. Let me go to players, flex, your best flex available. What do you like? Got 2 seconds.
I can't see whatever that top player what you just had. Pick him. I don't.
All right,
it's hard to see. Sorry.
You're gonna have to get a device where you can see better. Because I've got it expanded now. I mean, you should be right on top of it at this point. Okay. Looking at our team real quick. Herbert, Hill, Cooper, Chubb, CEH, and Waller are our starters, with the flex being Jacobs. Our bench sits like this. We've got 2 running backs in Javonte Williams of Denver and James Robinson of Jacksonville. And then the receivers is DJ Moore, Tyler Lockett, and DJ Chark.
Okay.
So we have essentially 1 bench player to pick. And I don't see defense on this. So maybe defense isn't an option. Oh, no, I'm sorry. We got auto-picked defense. So we'll go ahead and grab a kicker to buy us time to look and see what else is left. Normally I wouldn't draft a kicker this high, but I'm looking at the fact that we need a chance to figure out who we want on our flex.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this is what you've got. So you're pretty even on your bench with wide receivers and running backs numbers. So really you're looking for value, or you take up a backup quarterback, which are some pretty decent ones left. You got Matt Ryan, you got Fitzpatrick, even Cousins, Baker Mayfield. The rest are big time gambles. What do you see? Would you rather have another quarterback, or are you thinking that you would go with the flex?
I would go ahead and take a backup quarterback here. I'll take Cousins, believe it or not.
Okay. I don't think there's much difference between Cousins and Ryan, and I think Ryan's a good pick as well. Honestly, even Fitzpatrick, if I absolutely knew that he was going to be their starter all year long.
Yep.
But I think you could catch him on some hot streaks. We know how hot he can get. He's obviously someone we're never going to start over Justin Herbert realistically, but maybe you like the matchup that week. And so those are the types of guys that I think you can take advantage of some situations. Now, Cousins is still there. Looks like Matt Ryan got drafted. We've got a few more picks, so we'll see if it ends up with us. If not, we're going to have to do a mad dash to a if Cousins, Fitzpatrick, and Baker Mayfield are all gone, are there any well, one of them will be there. Would you take Trevor Lawrence over Baker Mayfield? Would you take any of the other quarterbacks over Baker Mayfield if Fitzpatrick and Cousins are gone?
I may just pocket Trevor Lawrence and see how he does when he does start.
Gotcha.
What the heck?
Cousins is there. The one thing we know about Cousins, he starts off slow, so he'll be on our bench.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ned. Well, let's look at our team real quick. We've got Justin Herbert. I think I can move this, can I? Yeah. We've got Justin Herbert, Tyreek Hill, Amari Cooper, Nick Chubb. I mean, a pretty solid team for a team that drafted 6th. And then, of course, our defense is Tampa Bay, which you can't beat that. And you've got Gould as your kicker, which, whatever. Kickers get dropped. It doesn't matter. But I'm looking at the fact that the meat of this team, the 3 players you can't see right now are DJ Chark, James Robinson, and Kirk Cousins. Those guys are essentially bench players. But you've got 4 really solid running backs, and Jacobs. Williams is a rookie, so we don't know what we're going to get, but we're hopeful, right? Chubb and Hilaire. I would have liked to have grabbed Hunt if I could have found it in time, but we had that gaff. And what in the world? Are you working in an office from the early 1980s? What does that sound?
Yes. It's gone now.
What's that? Hello, person-to-person call, connect. All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop the share here. But I think it's a solid team. It's a solid team. It's not standings real quick. We would be projected to actually have the most points in the league.
Yes.
Now, the only way you're ever going to get that in these things, because I've done a lot of them, you have to take a second quarterback. If you don't take a second quarterback, there's a big drop off from your quarterback. Like if you really wanted to get the best score possible, you just draft a bunch of damn quarterbacks. But you have to get a second quarterback to be able to do that because they take into consideration on your bye weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're missing, what could be 30, 40 points on your bye week and then other things, the things that can hit you hard with these things are if you draft and you think, that's a good draft, but they're going to look at it as did every guy have the same bye week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, we don't have time for turn back time and all that stuff because of the Comcast gaff again. I'm starting to get really pissed off about that. What is your walk off of the day?
My walk off of the day, just one of my favorite ball players, and I thought it was a good move for the Dodgers picking up Trey Turner. I love that, and they just overall how crazy that was. The craziest last moment of baseball free agency I've seen in a while. Just how many players are on new teams, but I just think Trey Turner being on the Dodgers is going to be magic for them.
Yeah, it doesn't worry you that these teams are getting. We're starting to get super teams in baseball. And the teams like the Cincinnati's will never have a chance?
No, because this has happened before in baseball history. This is not the first time you've seen teams load up like this. I mean, you could say the same thing about the back in the 70s. You could say that about the Mets in the 70s, how they never had a chance while you had the big red machine in the 70s with all the players they had. So the idea of them stacking
but the difference is back in the 70s, the salaries weren't astronomical.
That's very true.
And so Cincinnati could compete.
Yeah.
But let's be honest. If your favorite team does not play on a coast, you're going to have a very, very difficult time competing.
That is true. But the Reds have come through it before in their history. So I am worried, but not as worried about, let's say about, well, not even the Cubs, but I'd be worried about trying to think of a Midwestern team right now. I'd be worried if you were Texas, if you're the Rangers.
I'd be worried if I was Cincinnati.
I'm not as worried. I am worried,
Should
but not
be.
as worried.
Should be.
Let's say,
It's a small market team. It's in the middle of nowhere, and it's got an okay population, but you're never going to have the money that Boston, New York, Los Angeles, San Diego are going to have. Houston. I mean, you notice the teams that are competing, Chicago White Sox, the teams that are competing this year, they're all in the biggest population meccas in the United States. Atlanta's got a different thing going on. One of the reasons why they're going to struggle for the next few years to compete is because even though they're in a decent market, they're not a big market, but even though they're in a decent market, they got a terrible television contract. So that's something totally different. But I don't think Atlanta will ever be able to compete with these teams because their population is never going to get to the Houstons and the New Yorks and the Los Angeles. So it's always going to have to be a fight. You're going to have to be very Tampa Bay Ray-ish. Maybe not to that degree because Atlanta can afford to keep some, but they're never going to be able to bring in a Rizzo at the trading deadline. It's just never going to happen.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I'm more worried with Cincinnati is the leadership in Cincinnati and ownership. They have no imagination. They don't want to sign anybody. They don't even want to take a chance. So their attitude coincides with what you talk about as far as market share and market size. I think their mentality is as small as the area you say with Cincinnati. So I'm more worried about them and their attitude about who they buy and who they don't buy and who they don't get. And they always just have no imagination. They always stand pat. And that's as big a problem as the market share that they have. Is their mentality as a small town as Cincinnati is at this point.
It's just concerning to me because
it concerns me. I guess I try to have faith, but yeah, I am concerned. I'm not going to lie to you.
How the hell is the Kansas City ever going to compete again? You know, they're going to have to get lightning in a bottle is what they're going to have to do, which is essentially what they did when they won the 2015 series. They got lightning in a bottle for a couple of years and they had to sell off like a madman. The Marlins are never going to compete long-term. The Tampa Bay Rays are they're defying all logic, but other than that, I don't think it's good for baseball. I'll just put it that way. It's not good for baseball.
If it becomes so concrete that there's no, and in the 70s there was always breakup, so you could have potential for other markets to compete, but now it's becoming solidified. Yeah, I thought it might be like the 70s. There might be give, but the more I think about it, there might not be the give there used to be.
All right, well, we're going to go ahead and get out of here because we don't have time for our usual end of the show. We apologize for the blip. I am going to edit this and re-put it back out, edited where there's not that gap of a couple of minutes where the internet went out in the area. Great job, Doug. We'll see you next week, a week closer to the fantasy football drafts. Remember, Friday, August 27th, I think is the date. Friday, August 27th is our first draft. We're going to do it YouTube live. It's the After Dark draft. And if you do want to play, let us know. And then we're also going to do, that one's going to be live on YouTube. And the other one, the morning show, which I think is Wednesday, September 1st, if my math is correct. All right, brother, we will see you next Monday. And my walk-off for you is I got you, baby. I got you.
You got me because I was too stupid I missed one of my starters.
I even rebuilt my team this week. I didn't even, I wasn't throwing it, but I wasn't going for the gusto. I was like, I need to do some things. Well, and I still beat you. I think I play you.
I didn't start Alcantara. I forgot. I forgot to start one of my starters. Boo-hoo-hoo. I know. Boo-hoo. Boo-hoo. I
play you in another league this week.
All right.
You got to realize I've won all these divisions. He's pissed. He left. All right. We'll see.
I'm not pissed.
How about you did another I can't remember what Justin did that one day. It was something like that. I don't remember. We'll see you next week, bud.
Goodbye, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. We're back tomorrow with another show. Well, unless we're fired, we'll talk to you then. Goodbye, sweetheart. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Guys and gals, it's time to go. We'll see you on the next show.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Thanks for listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks on these CBS Sports affiliates and catching the show on YouTube Live. We're here weekdays. Find Armchair Quarterbacks on YouTube Live today. Please subscribe and share and take us everywhere you go. The Armchair Quarterbacks, your first choice for Southern sports talk, live from the First Coast.
Can I get another cigarette, please? Can I get another cigarette, please? Yeah,